Hey friends, welcome back to Live with the Roxy on this Tuesday, Thursday, March 17th. Today is St. Patrick's Day. Today is Purim, and for the Jews and the Irish people and the people who just like to celebrate, today is a big day of festivities and drinking and fun. And I was planning on doing a show earlier today where I talked about some of those things. I did do Purim last night with the World Girls and had them put on a play, and I will be, I have green pants on right now, and I will be attempting to celebrate um, attempting to celebrate a little bit more later. However, I decided that those were not the things to talk about today. And I'm only going to probably do a brief 10-minute, 15-minute show because um, I, I'll tell you guys about some personal stuff going on in my life, but also how it relates to this. I want to talk about the Edward Bronstein um, video that was released, and we will discuss that. But I just kind of want to talk about the police in general today. So I have had 3 incredibly unfortunate run-ins with the police this month. That's the most I've ever had in my life. And one of them I cannot talk about yet, and definitely is the most egregious of all of them. And one day I will tell you guys what happened. Um, the second one is that I am dealing right now with my grandparents who are dealing with theft, and they had a person come in and steal a lot of money from them and forge signatures on their check. And we've been in a 3-month battle to get back the money, and the bank rejected that battle because banks are fucking awful and atrocious too. So I'm trying to deal with the police report, and I'm trying to deal with this for my grandparents, and I have never seen anybody less helpful than these police officers than LAPD. Their system is so fucking broken. When you call, they say that you can file online. I've attempted to file online multiple times. It continues to get rejected. When you get rejected from filing online, it says you have to file on the phone. When you call them, they say you have to file online. You file online, then it gets rejected. It says you have to file on the phone. You call them, it says you have to file online. And from dealing with my own personal run-in with law enforcement, I know that if you go in person, you are there for hours and you're standing. There are no seats for you. You cannot go inside. There's no private area. And I cannot take my 94-year-old grandmother there. There's nowhere for her to go, and nobody there gives a shit. And they're all really fucking mean. And I don't mean they all as in every single police officer. I mean everyone that I have dealt with. They are rude and disrespectful, and they don't give a flying fuck about you or your comfort or the fact that my grandmother is 94. And when you walk in, I have a photo of this on the wall. There is to one of their doors, there's a window, and they put up an image of a woman trying to escape. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? And so I have been unsuccessful in getting this police report for my grandparents. And I know a person who was LAPD, and he's been calling and attempting to help me, and nothing still. It's fucking disgusting. And then with Darina, as you guys know, the other day we were together, and she tweeted about this, so I can talk about it. She got her car smashed in by somebody, and they smashed into her car, and they took her laptop and all of her cash and her jewelry and her backpack and everything. And when we called the police, because you have to file a police report in order to go through insurance, otherwise we wouldn't have, because we knew they wouldn't be fucking helpful. They came at 1 a.m, and they were the least helpful ever. And when I said that, one of the officers just kept saying, well, you should have put the bag in your trunk, which, no shit, Sherlock, but can you still help? And so I said, we know that Thank you for that information. We know that. We'll do better next time. Hoping you can still help." And he said, "Kind of doubt it because um, I don't know that we can make time for this considering that's not the way that people voted." Which is an absurd sentiment in general because it's your job that no matter how people vote to do your job. And second of all, are you talking about local elections? Are you talking about Donald Trump? Are you gonna penalize the people because you don't like the way they voted? Because then you shouldn't be a fucking police officer. And I cannot wait till I am able to tell you guys what the what other police officers did to me. But I have had 3 run-ins this month, in the last 1 month, and every single one of them has gone fucking horribly, and none of them have been helpful, and those are our taxpayer dollars that are going to these cops. And what I'm about to talk about, of course, is a much more serious situation than any of that. But people always say, like, you know, everybody hates the cops until you need them. And I've really needed them 3 times this last month. And not one time have they been helpful. Not one time have they been supportive. Not one time have they been understanding. Not one time have they made a difference. And that's repulsive because they're supposed to work for us. And so I'm really down on law enforcement in general right now. And again, I'm not sitting here saying that all law enforcement is like this because, of course, there are people who get into this line of work to try to help people and save people's lives and make them better. But when you have police officers out there telling me that they're not going to help because they can't because of the way that we voted, does that person sound like somebody who should be able to be holding a gun that's not biased? Because you better believe every run-in I've had with a police officer, they've front and center, well, to the side, had a big old fucking gun, and it's scary, especially when they're not helping and they're not rational. And again, the most serious one I've had, I can't even talk to you guys about right now, but I will one day. I have a lot that I will tell you guys. And then today, I think it was released yesterday or Tuesday. So last night I saw this video. For those of you guys who haven't seen it yet, I don't know that you want to watch it, but it was a video that was finally released because the judge issued it to be released to the public. And it's the video of Edward Bronstein and the police murdering him. This happened prior to George Floyd. This happened 2 years ago. And it was in March of 2020. So a couple months before George Floyd. And it took 2 years for us to be able to even know about this or see it. This man is pulled over for a DUI. And before you cast judgment on that, I want everybody here to sit and think about anybody you know who's ever gotten a DUI. Now, we talk about on this show how fucking disgusting DUIs are and how horrible it is to put other people's lives at risk. But it happens. And I have several loved ones, people that I do shows with every week, people who you guys know, people who are your friends, many of you guys who have DUIs. And so the way that the narrative is formed is they're saying, well, he got a DUI, so how good could this person be? The same way that they formed the narrative about George Floyd, who had drugs in his past. It's not fucking relevant to what the police officers did. And they pull him over, and his family says he has a fear of needles, and they want to take his blood. And that scared him at first. But they are going to take his blood, so they pin him down to the ground. And he says that he will cooperate, and they don't care and they don't listen. And they put their knee on his neck. And then 12 times he says he can't breathe. 12 times. And then he dies. And the cops, who don't even notice, continue to take his blood. And one of them says, make sure you have a pulse. And he's dead on the ground. And they still take the blood. And then they put a Band-Aid on him. And then they go to lift him up. And they say, don't block his airways. And he's been dead for minutes. Because they killed him. That's murder. And I don't know how you can describe it as anything but when you injure somebody so badly, when you block their airways, when you put your knee on their neck and you pin them down and you make it so that they can't breathe and then they die. That's what murder is. And there is it was maybe 4 cops all right there, and not one of them does jack shit about it. And he's a dad with a daughter who is not gonna give up, and it's just fucking devastating. And these are the people that are allowed to have guns, and for 2 years, these police officers have nobody's known, no footage has been shown, and then they saw what happened with George Floyd, and it still didn't fucking come forward. And this man is screaming, "I can't breathe." It can't stay like this. It can't stay like this where this is how police officers are. And again, there are some good ones, but the system is not okay. And it's so apparent in at every stage. And when you're watching this video, which again, I don't recommend watching unless you can stomach it because it's incredibly fucking upsetting to watch. By the way, this took place in California. He was 38 years old. 38 years old. A federal judge unsealed the video this week of Edward Bronstein, a 38-year-old man who was in their custody following a March 2020 traffic stop in LA. And again, I heard it 12 times. He said, "I can't breathe," over and over again as he was on the ground. Nobody even knew. Nobody even fucking knew. The CHP video was released for use in a federal wrongful death lawsuit brought on by Bronstein's family members against the state of California, CPH, and individual officers who were on scene when Bronstein died. No officers have been charged in connection with Bronstein's death. I'm going to repeat that last line. No officers have been charged in connection with Bronstein's death. There is a video of these officers killing this man. The decision to unseal the video Tuesday was made because the, quote, public's interest in the conduct of its peace officers outweighs other interests and any risks of particularized harm, end quote. U.S. Magistrate Judge John McDermott explained in his order. The lawsuit filed in Central District of California alleges officers used, quote, excessive and objectively unreasonable, end quote, force against Bronstein, who was unarmed, restrained, and surrounded by uniformed peace officers. That excessive force was also a result of negligent employment, negligent retention, and negligent supervision of officers by the CPH. That's what the lawsuit said. The lawsuit seeks unspecified compensatory damages and requests a jury trial. The LA County District Attorney's Office tells CNN it's reviewing the case. On the ground, you hear him screaming, "I will willingly obey. I will willingly obey." And they will not take their knee off of his fucking neck as he continues to yell, "I cannot breathe. I will willingly obey." I'm not seeing people talk about this yet, at least not many. So I decided that we had to talk about it on the show today. That's pretty much it. I have another show I have to do soon. I'm recording a podcast episode with Dee and Steph, but it didn't feel right to have all these experiences and see all of this and then not talk to you guys about it. Because the only way that we make change is by us having knowledge. And we have to. So before I get out of here, let's see what you guys are talking about. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving a shit about this. I appreciate you guys being here. I know it's not easy, especially as times are so fucking rough right now and so dark. To sign up willingly to hear more upsetting information, it feels excruciating. And those are the kind of videos that we don't want to fucking watch. And that's the kind of story that we don't want to fucking talk about because it's awful. Going into the Streamlabs, Glenn Caesar, today, he said he wished me Chag Sameach. Thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I am to wishing to all my family. And he said, Clarence Clemens and Jackson Brown, Friend in Me. Another song I like, Striking Out. Well, count me in. Maybe I'll sing a different time. But you're not striking out. I appreciate you. Erica in the streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Hi, Erica said, saw on yesterday's stream that you said you got laid recently. Seems very relevant right now. And I wanted to say congrats. Been on a long dry spell, so I know what it's like. LL off. The important question is, was it good? I think it takes a while to build up with somebody, Erica, but definitely, yeah. And I appreciate you asking. It's about finding those little joys in life for sure, because we got to find them somewhere. It's too fucking dark sometimes. Andrew Thomas says, Happy St. Patrick's Day to the always beautiful and sexy Roxy. Here is for some good luck. I appreciate you. Thank you. I could use the good luck, and I think this whole globe could use the good luck right now. So that. Okay. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer before I get out of here to go film this next episode, because the days don't stop. Let me know any last minute questions, comments, concerns. And I'm not glad that he didn't know, but Jake said, thank you for talking about it. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have known. Yeah, it seemingly is getting like fucking buried still. And these cops are just able to live their lives. For 2 years, they murdered somebody 2 years ago, and they just are allowed to live. And we can't accept that in society. We can't accept that because you're a police officer, you're allowed to murder somebody unjustly and then just keep on keeping on. It's not okay. All right, friends, I am going to get out of here. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for being here. I'll be back tomorrow for sure. So I'll be on Only Stupid Answers in the morning, and then here right after that, probably a little early, maybe at like 12:15, because we are filming our IRL World Girls episode tomorrow before Steph bounces. Steph's going on a multiple week vacay. Good on her. So we're going to get that in. And until I see you guys then, educate yourselves. Keep looking. Make sure that you stay involved in the planet that we live in and know what's going on so that we can hold people accountable, because that's our job. Or it shouldn't have to be, but it is. Going in to check any last minute things going on with you guys. Otherwise, stay safe, stay sane. Put down the toilet seat and live. We don't want those flumes. Don't try the Holocaust. Justice for Breonna Taylor, and arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. And now adding to that list, justice for Edward Bronstein. Justice for Edward Bronstein. In the Streamlabs, Glenn Caesar says Breonna Taylor and Edward Bronstein, and so many others to name, many people to name a few, just for all the people who've lost their lives due to excessive force. Yeah, absolutely. He says, wild story. It's the first I heard of it. Thanks for sharing. Hopefully you breathe, Golden Sparkles. Thanks. Christian Hardesty says, hey, Rocks. Sorry to hear you've been going through so many rough things lately. Remember, you've got the rock stars and more friends behind you. Hopefully you have a great weekend. Thanks, Christian. You guys don't even fucking know the half of it. Super grateful for you guys. Thanks for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. Later.